From KVUE News in Austin, you're watching Texas This Week with Ashley Goodo.
Good Sunday morning. The 89th Texas Legislature is now in session. Both chambers gavelled in Tuesday afternoon, starting their 140-day-long journey to try and pass laws to improve the lives of fellow Texans. This morning, we're taking a deep dive into the opening day and what we can expect from now until sine die on June 2nd. Whether you are following the Texas House of Representatives or the Texas Senate, the big question looming over the first day of the 89th Texas legislative session was one even the state minister couldn't help but talk about in his opening prayer.
Whoever the Speaker of the House is going to be.
Weeks of infighting within the Texas GOP pitted two conservative lawmakers against each other. State Representatives David Cook of Mansfield and Dustin Burrows of Lubbock. Cook won the support of the House Republican caucus, but a group of Republicans band together to break away and support Burrows. On Tuesday, tensions ran high. Members of the House nominated three candidates for Speaker, Representatives Burrows, Cook, and Richardson Democrat Ana Maria Rodriguez Ramos. None got the 76 votes needed to win the speakership on the first vote, leading Burrows and Cook to a runoff. A coalition of 49 Democrats and 36 Republicans gave Burrows the boost he needed to become the third most powerful leader in the state, with an 85-55 win over Cook, the new Speaker of the House vowing to have a unified chamber.
Every member will have a voice. Every district will have a seat at the table. Committee assignments will be made in keeping with your House rules, reflecting the diversity of experience and expertise of this chamber. Our timeline for priority legislation will be transparent, and every Texan will know their House is working for them.
On the other side of the rotunda, a more predictable opening day for the upper chamber. Governor Greg Abbott mentioning two of his priorities while speaking to senators: bail reform and school choice or vouchers.
I can testify for a fact to the urgent pleas of thousands of Texans to please use your voice and use your vote this session to expand the opportunity for every parent to choose the school that's best for their child. The Senate is organized, as always, and we are ready to begin this upcoming session. We're ready to go to work. You give us the direction, we're ready to go. We're waiting for those emergency orders.
Those emergency orders, the items the governor will declare as emergency items during his State of the State address, allowing lawmakers to bypass the state's 60-day no voting rule to take up bills on the topics the governor decides are too important to wait. Notably, the governor, who previously called on House Republicans to back Cook, did not speak to the House as he was scheduled to do after Burrows' win. His office telling KVUE the Speaker's office told the governor's office the vote to elect a speaker was going to go on too long. Governor Abbott hasn't publicly weighed in on Burrows' win, but in a seemingly lighthearted moment with senators, joked about the days ahead.
Well, it's great to join you in what I hope will be the only session that we have this year.
This is the outcome that I think a lot of Democrats have worked towards. Not necessarily like people's first choice, but a choice that gives us a fair opportunity to represent our districts and take care of the things that we need to take care of. And frankly, I'm hopeful for the future because we have now someone who's willing to stand up against the billionaires, stand up against Greg Abbott, stand up against Dan Patrick, and especially stand up to Ken Paxton, right? And we now have a chance to do things for Texans that Texans have demanded that we do.
Do you have any concerns? You mentioned, the other side of the rotunda here. Do you have any concerns about being able to get some legislation passed, some Democratic priorities passed, given the fact that he is not the pick of Abbott and Patrick?
No, I think that's the new reality. I think Democrats have a better chance of passing bills because if we have a House that stands strong and is willing to stand up to them and saying, we're not going to be bullied by you. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to take care of our home districts. We're going to take care of our home people. And if you don't like it, then we're not going to pass your bills either. So this is a give and take. And I think that having a speaker who's willing to be hard about it and to stand up for us matters.
What about, committee chairs? That seems to be something that neither Burrows or Cooks were willing to budge on. How are you feeling about that?
I think the issue with committee chairs is, it's one important issue, but it's not the only issue. And for Democrats, I think we're less concerned about our personal advancement, but we're more concerned about what kind of bills do we pass? Do we fund education? Do we keep hospitals open? Do we fix the grid? Those questions are way more important than whether I get a plum assignment.
Okay. And what about school choice? How are you going to fight it this session?
I don't think school choice is a done deal like Governor Abbott thinks. Just like the vote here, they thought they could count the numbers, but apparently they couldn't. And I think the same is to be said about school vouchers. Texans overwhelmingly oppose giving wealthy families even more money that poor families and schools, public schools, already need. Why are we giving away the farm? And so I think if we have a House that represents home communities, represents the people, we're not going to pass vouchers.
Lawmakers will return to the Capitol on Wednesday to continue the work of the session. That's Texas This Week.